I think very well. Most of the interviews that I did with you were very accurate. They weren't suppositions on what did you think I was trying to say, or did I have to read about what somebody else thought. Well, once in a while, I mean, there were other people who made comments, but it wasn't like you usually do with the media, where you're fighting them over truthism. You just want it to be accurate. It doesn't matter if they like what you do or don't like what you do, but you want it to be accurate. And yours was very accurate. Both of the major exposés were very accurate, and then, of course, there were other stories along the line. Well, I think the good thing about Delaware Today is that it's a classy magazine. It's not the low-grade stuff where, you know, you just throw a bunch of stuff together. Very well done. The graphics, the ads, the stories. It gives people a flavor of a city, for example. There's a lot of things going on here. There's a lot of things that people could enjoy if they just knew about it, because we hear this all the time. There's nothing to do in Wilmington. And I just say, well, you're not trying very hard, are you? But Delaware Today does that very well. And the exposés on different people, different professions, where people can go. I think that's just great. And then the region, the Newark, Wilmington, the whole Newcastle County area, where people can go, what's going on. I mean, who reads about Middletown or Odessa, Townsend, that part of the county? And then when you look at the state, it's excellent, because I always like to grab the one about the beaches, because then I know if there's some new places that I could go to when I visit. I love visiting the beach, and having that view of where I could go at any time throughout the state. And I just get the different parts of the magazine that is done on different subject matters of the state. And I like the one where you do the counties. You do Newcastle, or Wilmington, Newcastle. You do Kent and Sussex. You learn a lot about these little cities, Dover or whatever, what's going on in these places. So it's a very informative magazine, and it's a very very classy magazine that gives people a feeling that this is not a backwoods little place that nobody cares about. Well, I think media today, like newspapers, are in serious trouble. And they're in serious trouble because they don't know how to react to the changing technology. And the way they've done it is they've gone to the Inquirer, or that magazine, that paper that you get at the supermarket, you know, and it has all of the alien married Madonna or whatever, that kind of stuff. And so what they've gone is they've gone to the extreme to try to say, well, people don't really like good news, they really like bad news. And it's not that people like bad news, they also want to know what's going on. But I remember that newspapers used to give you information that was very accurate about the world and the situation that you were in. Today, everybody wants to editorialize. If I say something today, I'll get an editorial, or I'll get this, that, or the other about why did I say, why did I cuss, why did I do this. I do it for a purpose. I don't do it for just to be doing it. And a lot of people don't understand that communities are very, very important for the future of the generations to come. And that the shootings or crime or whatever happens all over our country. And what amazes me is that not once have they ever said this is a national problem. They've always localized it. Oh, why doesn't the police, why doesn't this, why don't they do that? And yet, when you read the data, there are 73 major cities in the United States where in the African American community you have this murder mania going on. It's actually a sickness that's happening. And yet, because the news media used to know when the thing was a national issue and talk about it, today it's just sell the paper because people are upset over crime or upset over this or upset over that. So I find that the news media today has sold out its responsibility to be the truth sayers, to point out what needs to be done, it should be thought about, and has become instantaneous sell to try to compete with the technology today that they can't compete with. But your magazine doesn't have to do that, see? You don't have to, oh, today we got to get that, oh, how are we going to sell a number of papers, and we got to make it, and they actually print a different paper for southern Delaware than they do for northern Delaware. So I found that out too by traveling throughout. So your magazine doesn't escape negativity, but it defines it in a way that people can understand it.